This program contains violent content which may be too intense for some. Viewer discretion is advised.
Marv.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good evening.
How are you, Mark? My favorite person.
Doing great.
Good.
Long hot day at work. Glad to be able to relax now.
It's been very hot here. Very hot and humid. I can't complain. My husband can, because he was trying to work outside in this heat, but
Yeah, right.
I imagine for you it's pretty miserable working in this hot, humid weather.
Well, being thin-blooded, I can withstand the heat a little better than most people.
True. I guess when you're outside all the time, you get acclimated to it.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, believe me, I still have my moments, but it is what it is. Still got to work for a living.
So as you can see, everyone, Mark is joining me this evening. So I am so happy to have him. I am just checking to make sure that Facebook is running okay here. And that I can see, yes, okay. So it's running and I can see comments from there. So
good evening, Andrea. Good evening, vet inquiries.
Yes.
Good evening, Christy.
Welcome, everyone.
Sierra.
Yeah. And Jill's here too, so.
Good evening, Jill.
I'm sure others will be popping in. The numbers keep going up.
Certainly.
It's a beautiful Saturday in the summer, so people are taking advantage of it.
Right.
So we are 7 days away, Mark.
Yes, ma'am. Looking forward to it.
Yes, I spent a good, I would say, 2 hours today with my son, going through all of our equipment, making sure that I had everything, all the batteries. I actually ordered more batteries for my video camera and went and bought SD cards today. So I'm pretty sure we're good to go. We're ready. Everything got tested out today and everything's working. And so now it's just time to pack it away. And before I know it, it'll be Thursday and I'll be heading to Indiana. So why don't you tell us a little bit about It's Time to Talk and what we're going to be looking forward to next weekend?
One of the things that sparked me for It's Time to Talk is we have found out that in 2006, after the plea bargain with Kyle Neff, they closed Tabitha's murder case. In 2015, Josh Ziegler, a reporter for the Kokomo Tribune, did an article for the Kokomo Tribune titled "What Happened to Tabby?"
Right.
He confronted Jay Rich for a FOIA request, Jay Rich, the prosecutor, for a FOIA request on the case, and was denied because he told him the case is still open. Yep. There's something wrong with that, people. There's something terribly wrong with that. So therefore, what we're going to be doing next weekend at the Tipton City Park is informing the town and the county and anybody else that wants to listen to me and us in a whole about the gross mishandling of Tabitha's murder case. It's time to talk. It's time to get to the bottom of this. It's time to move on so we get this resolved and solved so we can get on with our lives.
Yeah.
20 and a half years is entirely too long.
Exactly. So Friday night, we are going to be at the Tipton Park starting at 6 p.m., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Tipton City Park at 6 p.m. on Friday. Saturday.
And then again,
Saturday
I'll
I'll be at the walk for the girls in Delphi. And
I
then
will be
Sunday, we'll be back at Tipton City Park at 2 p.m., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's two different time periods and 2 different days where we want people to come out, talk to us, tell stories about Tabitha, give any information that they know about Tabitha's case. Because
Certainly.
there's a lot of information that we don't have. So anybody who made depositions or knows any information, come out, talk to us. But one other thing that we want to do is we want to talk to any of the other citizens that have unsolved cases in Tipton, because there's many.
Exactly.
There is many. So, yeah, it's going to be a big weekend. And I did find out that they're not having a baseball tournament that weekend.
They're not?
No, but that end of the park, it sounds like it's going to be closed because they're redoing some of the baseball fields.
Okay.
They're tearing them out.
So that's what
I guess I was just been informed that they're tearing those baseball fields out completely.
Yeah, they're going to redo the baseball fields. I guess they got some big grant to redo the baseball fields. So we may not be able to go over where her body was in the creek, but we should have the rest of the park open.
Yeah.
So Andrea says they're redoing the Little League and Pee Wee fields. Okay. Yes, Vid, we were told that they did close the case. Now, like Mark said, in 2015, 16? Josh did
2015.
2015, Josh did make a FOIA request and was denied, stating that the case was still open. So one of the things that I'll be doing while I'm there is trying to get a definite answer as to whether this is open or closed. So like I said, Friday night, 6 p.m., Sunday, 2 p.m. at the Tipton City Park. That is where we will be. Now, do you want to talk about, Josh, his post on the True Crime with Tabitha site?
Yes, ma'am. It's time to release that as well. So Josh Ziegler, the reporter for the Kokomo Tribune, he's no longer with the Kokomo Tribune, but in 2016, he confronted Buffy, Tabitha's mother, and informed her that he wanted to do a book on Tabitha's murder case. Mm-hmm. That book is done with 227 pages. That's over 55,000 words in this book.
Yes.
This book is going to have facts. It's not going to have speculations. It's not going to have he said, she said. It's not going to be a bunch of heresy. It's going to be facts of what happened to Tabby and facts of the gross mishandling of the murder case.
Correct.
This book is going to open up some eyes. It's going to touch some hearts that should have been touched back then. And with this book release, maybe we will get closure.
Maybe. That's what we want, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you go on the Justice for Tabitha Facebook page, and I'm going to drop the link here, there is a post by Josh, and you can pre-order the book.
Yes.
Here we go. I'm going to drop that link right here. So
Thank you, Andrea, for doing that.
Yeah. And yes, Buffy is going to pre-order some, I think 20 copies. And Andrea's gonna sell them with the merch. Up until now, the black Justice shirt for Tabitha has been the biggest seller. She just recently made a blue shirt with the red Justice scales on it, and she said it looks awesome.
Cool.
She said the red actually pops out more off of the blue shirt. So,
good evening, Roxy. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Roxy, thank you. And Lollipop.
Certainly.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So, in 2001, there was a murder in Tipton by the name of Michelle Gifford. I imagine a lot of Tipton people will remember this. I've got that article from Wild Hearts Association. Her family created Wild Hearts Association, shattering the silence of domestic violence. This is a very long article. I wanted to spend some time and go through this article and pick and choose what I want to talk. But I found out that Steve Nation was the judge on this case for her husband. Her husband killed her in front of their toddler children.
Okay.
So I talked with her sister years ago, back in 2005, when I found the Wild Hearts Association. This happened. Her murder happened in 2001. January the 11th, 2001 is when she was murdered. Here's a part of that article. Continued again. The court has been continued again for her husband. The January 27th, 2006 hearing in the Circuit Court of Tipton, Indiana, has been continued again. A nightmare that began on January the 11th, 2001, continues to victimize our family with yet another continuance. The tentative date is sometimes in June 2006. Please continue to check back so that you can see how the judicial system favors the perpetrator and not the victim. This page will be updated as we know more. And the murder, another update, the murder won an appeal and allowed a new hearing because of the appellate judge that the judge in our case perhaps gave him too many years based on aggravating circumstances. The judge on the case was Steve Nation, the same judge on Tabitha's murder case for Elizabeth Balster, and the appeal for the plea bargain for Kyle Neff.
Right.
So it just goes to show this Steve Nation where his hands were before Tabitha's murder case. I will get this article on Tabitha's live journal or Tabitha's Facebook page, Justice for Tabitha. I can't remember if I already put it on there. I haven't had time to go through and look and see. But this is a very lengthy article. It really breaks down what they're dealing with and what they've dealt with.
Yeah, and that's just one of the other families that are dealing with this pain of not getting resolution besides Mark and Buffy. So, let's see here. All right. So I pinned the link for the Justice for Tabitha Facebook site. Roxy says, I guess they need to hire somebody else to do their job. You got that right.
Exactly.
Now, is Mr. Rich out after this election? Is he finally retiring?
Yes. I've been told that Mark Rainier is going to be in the running for prosecutor. He is a criminal defense lawyer. I don't have a whole lot of information on him. I've been extremely busy working, haven't had time to do any research on him. But like I said, I've been told that he is the most likely candidate that would be going for the prosecutor position for Tipton County.
So, the reason I'm bringing this up to the audience is because for the first time by time this happens, it's going to be another 2 years because they just had an election last year. So the first time in 21 to 22 years, there will be a different prosecutor other than Jay Rich. So that's going to be important for us.
That don't surprise me, Andrea. Being a criminal defense lawyer, yeah, I got my doubts on this guy. Andrea commented he is shady too, I believe.
Yeah. Betsy, one of our Facebook subscribers, says Tipton is pretty close to Kokomo where I live. Yeah, and Andrea lives in Kokomo too, so if you guys are in the Kokomo area or surrounding areas of Tipton, come and join us Friday or Sunday at the Tipton City Park.
Most certainly. Okay, well, I'm still on Michelle Gifford's article here. I've been scrolling through it. Here's a pretty crucial area of this article. So he received 50 years, but in the state of Indiana he only has to serve 25 years. Good time calculations. They are asking the new judge to lower his sentence because no real harm was done to anyone but Michelle, and that the children didn't suffer a real ill effect. We've lived through this terrible nightmare, and our family can well document the effects of murder had on Michelle's 2 little girls. It's been 5 long years when this article is done, and they are still in grief counseling and will be for many years. Research backs up that a child only can process so much trauma at a time, and it takes many years, if ever, for a trauma such as this to work its way out of their minds. We must go through the whole nightmare again to convince the new judge he deserves the 50 years he got, and that the aggravating and mitigating circumstances are warranted for the added time he received. And when this article was done, we are actively asking the community and anyone wanting to take a stand against domestic violence to write the judge in our case and tell him that it does matter, people do care, and that it's time for the judicial system to take care of the victims and their rights. Letters do make a difference, and the judge does read all of them. People speaking out against people who carry out such heinous and senseless crimes can be heard. And at the end of this article, it's got the Tipton County Courthouse Attention Special Judge Nations, which is Steve Nations.
How can they say it didn't affect the kids? It affects everyone around her who knew her.
Exactly. And that's the type of we're dealing with too, from Jay Rich and Tony Frawley, who was the state detective at the time.
Hi, Pamela. How are you?
Good evening, sister. Love you.
Yes, I believe they did just arrest a guy in Kokomo for child exploitation.
Yeah, they got him on 24 counts.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on is because I wanted you to talk to us about how this affects the family. And I mean, you've lived through Tabitha's murder, and you know what it did to you personally and to the rest of the family. And I wanted a first-hand account of that for the audience, so they know.
Right. Right.
And whether we do that tonight or another night, that's fine. But that's one of the things I definitely want to talk to you about while you're on here. And
you elect officials to take care of the sheriff's department, the chief of police, the mayor, the town council, the county council, so forth and so on. And you put your trust in these people to do the right thing. You put your whole life trust in them to do the right thing. And then when you find out that they aren't listening to you and decide to go down a different avenue on theory instead of facts, there's something wrong with them people. There's something terribly wrong with them people. And that's a big part of what happened, is multiple people going in, giving false information on the bad side, and they ran with it, ignoring the facts of the people we implicated from day one, totally ignoring us. Oh, we'll look into it. We'll do this. We'll do that. And nothing got done. They waited 2 weeks or 2 months to search the apartment that her and her husband had, Michael Raines.
Right.
We demanded that apartment be searched immediately, and they didn't listen to us. We demanded that he be put on a polygraph immediately, and that didn't happen for months. Yes, Michael Raines was implicated from the very beginning in the brutal murder, torture of his wife, my stepdaughter, Tabitha Shuck Raines. There, I've said it. I'm not afraid of anybody. Come at me if you want to, if you need to.
Yes, he was.
I'm not afraid of him.
I still can't rule out that he had something to do with it.
Exactly.
Tonight I'm having this conversation with you. Tomorrow night, I'm actually going to read the reports that give them the official story, the fake official story in our view, so that they can understand what the original story is. And then as we start going through these other depositions and pointing out things that were inconsistent and everything, they're going to be able to see for themselves what
Certainly
was tragically done wrong in this case. But I mean, it's just so sad. This has gone on 20 years too long.
Right.
And it's time for you and your family to get some real answers.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why I said, I'm not afraid to make some waves. Not afraid to make some noise. I've had people already tell me, when you're ready to do a protest, let me know, I'll be there. So,
Certainly. Thank you so much.
And I think the start of this campaign is this next weekend. Just trying to get people to talk again. And just give us their side of things and what they saw and what they heard. I don't care if it's rumor, theory, or truth. I want to hear it all. Because it's up to me then to go back to what we have and look at everything and figure out, is it rumor, theory, or truth?
Right.
Now, did you have other articles that you wanted to read, or?
Yeah. So in 2009, no, wait a minute. Actually, 2006 is when Joe Osborne, he was the new detective for Tipton City Police Department. So a good friend of ours, who I won't divulge her name on here
Right.
without her permission. It's new info from a friend. Hi, guys. I just wanted to let you know I know firsthand how some of the people feel about what the police and detective are doing. I called with my concern on the latest person at the jail to see if anything was being done to get a warrant to check the girl's place out since she admitted to the picture. I called and long story in itself, I'm not going to go there right now. I was called the next week and informed that I would no longer be talked to about the case, except being told they are looking into things and looking at new leads. The reasons for this is because I came forward and talked to you guys, meaning me and Buffy. And you went to Tony Frawley. We went to Tony Frawley because of this new information. And it should have been kept quiet. I disagreed. The person that wrote this letter for us. The police detective, Joe Osborne, told me things are not run like when Gary Stout, the first detective on Tabitha's case, was running things. Some things need to be kept quiet till action has been done. Now, wait a minute. Isn't the family supposed to be involved in stuff like this? Prove me wrong, people. I was just afraid that nothing would be done like before. I was also made to feel like now because I talked to you, the evidence, if it was in a couple different places, has probably been destroyed. And talk was that if it got out that my daughter was one who talked, she could be at danger. This is the city detective telling her this.
Okay.
Because there are still dangerous people out there. I have been hurt and very upset about what I was told. Maybe I took what was said wrong, but I don't feel I was. Try and help and see what happens. It's a mess. You see, even Tipton City law says there are dangerous people still out there. It is not us people that watch too much CSI, quoted from Jay Rich's mouth back in 2003. He literally told us that. Me and Buffy sitting there at his desk told us that we watched too much CSI.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's multiple reports of pictures of Tabitha's murder.
Yes, there is.
But we haven't seen them. Nobody has produced them. It took us a year to even see the autopsy pictures, not from Jay Rich or Tony Frawley, from Elizabeth Balser's lawyer is who we seen the autopsy pictures from. And of course, the next day we were in Jay Rich's office demanding why we wasn't informed about everything else other than a gunshot wound in the forehead wrong with Tabby.
Yep.
And he was tongue tied. Where'd you get those pictures? It's none of your business, and it doesn't matter where we got them from. The fact is that you're sitting there telling us that there's only a single gunshot wound when there is multiple things wrong here.
Yes. And we proved that by what I read last time, the bruised eye, the bruised lip, the bruised cheekbone, the injury on her neck, the injury on her shoulder. I mean,
yeah,
it just does not match up with the official story. And I'm pretty sure that's why he didn't show you those or tell you those things, is because none of that did match up with the official story.
No. Andrew Bush said that she was pistol whipped in the side of the head.
And shot.
He doesn't say anything about her being punched in the eye. She's got a black eye. Something hard hit her on the back of the head.
The bloody lip.
Yeah, the bloody lip. The
bruises on her face.
everything.
Yeah.
And you don't find any blood trail in the park, but yet you still want to run to the courts with this.
Yep.
There's something wrong, totally wrong.
Well, and that was proven when Elizabeth Balser was acquitted.
Yeah.
The jury did not believe Jay Rich's story, and therefore they acquitted her. And because of that, Jonathan Yates wasn't even tried. And the only one that got anything out of it was Neff, and he got the sweetheart deal.
Jonathan Yates' lawyer wanted their day in court.
I know he did.
Jonathan Yates' lawyer was going to show this case the right way. I firmly believe that. Do I have any proof of that? No.
No.
But I firmly believe that with what I do know of Jonathan Yates' lawyer, they were going to show Jay Rich and Tony Frawley the wrongful things that they have done to bring this case forward and make them out to be the public jokers that they are.
Right. But because that's all right. Because Elizabeth was acquitted, they just dropped the charges. So Jonathan Yates' attorney never even got a chance to do any of that.
Right.
There you go.
My phone was dying and I forgot to grab my charger. I didn't realize I was low on percentage on my battery. I had to have a good buddy of mine get me a charger hooked up.
Well, thank you to whoever got a charger. I appreciate it.
He's been a good brother friend of mine for years. Many years.
Yeah, it's crazy, Roxy. I mean, we are slowly, and I have to thank you guys for being patient with me, because we're slowly putting things out there, but it's for a reason. There's certain things that are happening behind the scenes where I would love to just do a live every night on this case and put everything out there, but things are happening behind the scenes and stuff, so we're trying to do it slowly. But as soon as we get the go-ahead, it's all going to come out. And this event next weekend, Josh's book is really going to start it off.
Yes, ma'am.
It's really going to kick it off. There are going to be things in that book that you're not going to believe. So, and knowing that your family is not the only family in Tipton that's going through this.
No, I've talked with multiple families over the years. There's, other than murder, there's other situations and cases. One case involves an elite son in Tipton County molesting, who got caught molesting again in 2009 and was sent to jail. And he's supposed to be a lifetime member of the sex offenders registry, but if you would search his name, you won't even find it on there.
Right.
I'll talk more about that at the event.
Right. Andrew says, "Oh, I know who that is." Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do you have for us tonight?
I want to read the letter that we submitted after Elizabeth Balser's trial. We submitted a letter to the county commissioners. I personally handed it to them myself, along with the anonymous information, the documents, the depositions, and everything that we received. A copy. We gave the county commissioners a copy of everything. This was back in 2005. Dear board members, before considering hiring Jay Rich, before Jay Rich became full-time,
Right.
before considering hiring Jay Rich as a full-time prosecutor for Tipton, I feel that you should look at the Tabitha Raines case and the manner our prosecutor handled this case. Please remember, Mr. Rich spent over $96,000 of our taxpayer money to prove his theory. In the following documents, you will discover the whole story that Mr. Rich didn't want anyone to know. Are you willing to have Mr. Rich spend another $100,000 of our taxpayer money to prove his theory? If this case doesn't show you all anything, then I would suggest talking with our mayor of Tipton, whom, from what I understand, is very upset with our prosecutor for the same reasons, theory, not facts. We need someone in office who will stand up and honor their oath that they took to investigate and prosecute according to facts, not theory. Why do you think we have murders running around our streets? Do you all really want someone who goes by theory rather than facts to investigate your cases, if some may arise? Or do you want someone in office to lie to you, yell at you when asking about facts, hang up on you when all you are trying to do is have a prosecutor talk to eyewitnesses whom knew about the crime? Several times, Mr. Rich was approached by individuals whom had important info, including defense attorneys, eyewitnesses in our community. But that didn't match his theory either. So he refused to listen. Good prosecutor, huh? Jay Rich has proven to Tipton that he is only a prosecutor for the image and clout, not for the justice or the truth. I feel that it would be a grave decision on behalf of Tipton County to hire Mr. Rich full-time. I believe that I am speaking for our whole community when I say Mr. Rich should not even be allowed to be Tipton's prosecutor, more or less be allowed to go full-time. Apparently, Mr. Rich only knows how to be an attorney, only knows what is told to him, not a prosecutor who investigates the crime. I think after reading the evidence, you will see the matter much clearer, and I am confident that you too will see the misconduct and shady investigation that cost our community almost $100,000. Please, P.S. This case is not closed. Why isn't the prosecutor still investigating this? Signed, Buffy Tate at the time. But this is Buffy's letter that she wrote back then.
Well, and here's the thing, okay? He should have never been in charge of the investigation the way he was. You know, yes, prosecutors have their teams investigate and everything. But when Gary passed away, Jay Rich took over everything. And what I'm afraid of...
everything is... Instead of appointing or getting a new detective immediately, they shoved everything over to Jay Rich.
And then he was allowed to see everything and could get rid of what he wanted.
Exactly. And in Gary Stout's office, he had one wall 3 foot high by 16 or 20 feet long of nothing but Tabitha's murder case and boxes. When all that information, when Jay Rich took over the case, he didn't have maybe 2 foot high by 3 or 4 foot long.
Right.
He said, there's the case right. Basically told us there's the case right there. And we said, of course, no, it ain't. There's a whole lot more than just those boxes right there. Right. Oh, that's all there was. Now, he tried to get us to believe that that's all there was. Well, didn't you know that we've been on this from the very beginning with Gary Stout?
Right.
Yeah. He just kind of clams up and ignores us.
And Andrea's right. This prosecutor is a joke when it comes to prosecuting anything other than drug charges, check deception, and domestic violence. In the past, 2 years, Mark, there has been 2 murderers released back on the streets because Jay Rich did not try them in time. And they asked for the speedy trial. And if you do not try them within a year of them asking for the speedy trial, they get set free. And there's 2 of them that we know of that are free, roaming the streets. And has he made any advances on that? On either one of those cases to bring that to trial? No.
Right.
Now, he'll tell you that the reason he wasn't ready is because that there was plea deals in progress, and then at the last minute, these people reneged on their plea deal. Well, so what? Prosecutors all over the United States are in that situation, and not only are they working on the plea deal, but they're also working on the case that they're supposed to be prosecuting in case something like that happens. But Jay Rich doesn't.
Right.
He lets them out and just lets it go.
Yeah. I'm going to, I'm wanting to find Jay Rich's slogan, per se.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm almost there. Give me a minute.
okay. So Andrew says there's still a woman that hadn't been to trial yet for the death of a baby because Rich keeps continuing it. That is true also.
Wow.
That is true also.
Yeah.
When it comes to murder cases, Jay Rich doesn't do anything.
No.
And like you said, he may have been an attorney in the past, but that does not come forward as far as being a great prosecutor and taking care of the things that he's supposed to be taking care of, because he hasn't done that at all.
Right.
So, you're going to hear me, I don't bash too many people, but you will hear me tell the truth about this prosecutor. He needs to be out of office today.
Yeah. Yeah,
his out of office 19,
his
20
Facebook
years
page
ago.
hasn't been active. His Facebook page hasn't been active since 2019.
Yeah. Yes, and the little girl, the woman that has not been tried yet for the death of the baby, that was 6 to 7 years ago. He just lets everything fall by the wayside when it comes to murder and doesn't do anything. And I feel sorry. Yeah. I feel sorry for whoever does get the next prosecutor job, because they have to go back and pick up all of this stuff that he just let go and didn't do anything about for the past 20 some odd years. I know you're looking. I'm talking while you're looking, so just let me know when you're ready.
You're fine. You're fine.
But and I know that we have a lot of people on right now that watch Delphi, right? We think Carroll County is bad. You haven't seen anything. Tipton County is actually worse. they are actually much worse. Now, if you take a look at their stats and everything, they're hiding information because I've been told about all these cases, and when you try to find those in the stats, you can't find them. So that is one of the things that
My
I've been
phone
trying
just
to do.
restarted.
You're what?
Oh my gosh.
You're okay. Jody says, my husband was killed in Tipton County by a drunk driver, so believe me, I know. Yeah. And that's one of the things that this channel is going to do. We're starting with the Tabitha case, but we're not going to let up on Tipton. You know, even after I get all the information out on Tabitha's case, we'll pick up the next one and look at it. And we'll pick up the next one and look at it. And we'll pick up the next one and look at it. Because there are a number of cases that nothing has been done with. You know something is shady when a witness went to Stout and gave her statement about what she saw the day Tabby went missing, and it is nowhere to be found. That is the honest to goodness truth. Aaron says, I grew up in Tipton and went to school with these individuals. I never knew how bad it was. Teen pregnancy was the big thing they pushed on us as teens. Yeah. And unfortunately, Tipton is stuck in a stalemate because you still have the same man in power, Mr. J. Rich. You know, he can't get out of there soon enough. He can't. He absolutely can't. And I can't wait till somebody new does get in there because, like I said, they got a lot of cleanup work to do. A lot of it. And it's going to take them a number of years to clean up the mess that Jay Rich has put that city and that county in. We lost Mark, but I'm waiting for him to come back. Oh, here he comes. There you are.
Sorry about that. My phone died.
Oh, do you have the stream open other than StreamYard?
Pardon?
Do you have the stream open somewhere else other than StreamYard?
Yeah, I'm on my iPad.
Okay, because I've got an echo. Can you just turn
Yeah,
the volume off on your iPad?
Excuse me?
Can you turn the volume off on your iPad?
Turn the volume what?
Off.
Turn it off. What about now?
Okay, let's see how that works. Nope, I'm still getting an echo.
Still?
Yeah. But it's only for me.
Oh.
Let me see here. Okay, you stay there. I'm going to go out and come back in.
Okay.
You got the show for the next.
So what I was saying about Jay Rich's slogan, if you go to the Tipton County Prosecutor's page on the internet, not Facebook, he has a slogan on there talking about victims assistance and this and that and the other. He never offered us one time any victims assistance or anything.
And I see that as a big problem as well with this prosecutor. I'm trying to get into where I can see the comments on this. I have no access to the... maybe I found it. Oh, yeah, there we are.
Okay, I'm back. Am I still echoing?
Yes,
okay,
Jody.
something that's coming through either your iPad or your iPhone or your phone.
Jody Fessler commented, "My husband was killed in Tipton County by a drunk driver, so believe me, I know." Yes, she does. Jody's been a sister friend of mine, extended family sister to me since I was 18 years old, and she still is to this day. I'm actually sitting at her and her husband's house doing this tonight. And Kurt, her widowed husband, was a dear friend to me as well. He was also a fireman at the Elwood Fire Department. His wreck happened in 1991 in Tipton County.
Okay, Mark, I'm going to kind of be quiet here and you can read whatever you want.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You still got the echo?
Yes.
It might be this iPad. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead and read whatever you wanted to read next.
Well, in order to get to the articles, I don't know if I can do it because I'm literally, I don't know if it'll kick me off if I go to my easy notes. It'll probably just kick me off.
Okay.
Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. Are you still able to see me?
Yeah, you're frozen right now, but we can see you.
There's multiple letters I'd love to talk about, but there's a lot of stuff I want to save for the park.
Right.
Here's some new information that came out in 2007. I have met you a few times and I do not wish to disclose who I am at this moment. I have a friend in Marion, Indiana, who is dealing still with the death of her brother. She speaks.
Uh-oh, we lost him. He's having some issues. That happens, especially when we're trying to do long distance and a phone dies and he's trying to use a tablet. So yeah, I just encourage everyone from that area. Like I said, we said at the beginning, we are going to be at the Tipton City Park Friday at 6 p.m. And we're going to be there for a few hours. And then we're going to be back on Sunday at 2 p.m. for a few hours. So if you knew Tabitha and were friends with Tabitha, I would love to hear from her friends what she was like, what kinds of things she liked to do. I want to hear about her from her friends. If you have any information, like I said, truth, rumor, or myth about what happened to Tabitha, I want to hear that too. There's a lot of information that we don't have that we still need. And this is our opportunity to get it, is by talking to everybody that'll come up and talk. Now, I can guarantee you I've got two methods. I can videotape the conversation, or I can put it in audio only. If you tell me that you do not want to be shown on the YouTube channel, I respect that. If you tell me you don't want your voice on the YouTube channel, I can respect that too. I have AI software that I can use to put our conversation in that software and have an AI voice say it all. So if you want to remain anonymous, you absolutely will. And if you want me to show your video or play your audio so everybody can hear what you're saying, I will do that too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back. I thought maybe I could read the article on this iPad, but no, it kicked me out.
It kicked you out.
But
Okay,
it's
so you're on the iPad.
Excuse me.
You have the link that I opened.
Yeah.
Do you have another tab open?
Just a second. Yeah, I had the prosecutor's office tab open, actually. Now it's just yours.
Okay, so it's just my...
Now the only thing I have is a StreamYard.
I wonder why it's
still echoing. Are you still getting the echo?
Mm-hmm. It repeats everything I say through your device. But okay. Yeah, the lollipop. I know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute Mark while I'm talking so we don't get the echo. And then when he wants to talk, I'm going to not say anything and then unmute him. So, Mark, I'm going to let you talk, so go ahead.
No, I'm actually going to start my phone back up.
Okay.
So give me a minute.
All right. We'll see if that works. Zorba says hi. So if everybody doesn't know, that's Vid Inquiry's cat, who I got to know in Indiana last year. So yeah, this live tonight is just to give you a little bit of information, but it's really to ramp up and talk about the event that's going to be coming up this next weekend, and why we want everyone to join us if they can, one of the 2 days. Oh, good! I can't wait to see your Vid Inquiries. Can't wait. How you doing there, Mark?
I'm still working on my phone. It's about done.
Okay. When it's done, just give me a thumbs up so that I know. So that I don't have the echo going back and forth. So how many people in here are from Tipton or surrounding area of Tipton? If you're from Tipton, put in a 1 in the chat. If you're from a surrounding area of Tipton, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious to see who all's watching.
All right.
What's up, Mark?
The link that I just put in chat,
Yes.
did that come through?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to share that?
Yeah, share that. That's where it's got his mission statement. And I'm going to sign off on this iPad and go back to my phone.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I just put the link in. I'm going to bring this up on my other screen here and do a share screen. Oh, yes. Okay. So let me make this a little bit bigger so you all can see it. A little bit more clear. Okay. So it says the Tipton County Prosecutor's Office represents the state of Indiana in all felony and misdemeanor criminal. Let me bring Mark back on here. There you go. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no echo. Okay. So I was just reading the first paragraph of this page. The Tipton County Prosecutor's Office represents the state of Indiana in all felony and misdemeanor criminal prosecutions resulting from crimes committed within Tipton County. The primary function of the office is reviewing all case files submitted to the office by law enforcement and deciding whether criminal charges should be filed, and then prosecuting those cases. Other responsibilities of the prosecutor's office include overseeing the Indiana Child Support Program, prosecuting traffic citation tickets, bad check program, supervising grand jury proceedings, diversion/deferral program. Well, we know he only does a couple of them.
Right.
And then the mission statement is, it is the mission of the Tipton County Prosecutor's Office to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Tipton County by providing justice professionally, effectively, and efficiently.
Didn't happen with us.
Hasn't happened with a lot of people for different
Right.
reasons. So he's not even following his own mission statement.
Nope.
And we've had examples heard in the chat of how that is. So how he can put that on his site and claim that is, yeah, I'm calling BS. What a BS mission statement. You got that right. Wow. I almost think it should just read, the Tipton County Prosecutor's Office represents the state of Indiana in all misdemeanor criminal prosecutions.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do a whole lot of felonies, does he?
What a joke, huh?
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad, all these years, my heart has gone out to the people of Tipton County. It still does to this day. Every chance I get, I talk to people, and my heart goes out to you for the judicial system that you have in this county.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Ain't right, and it ain't fair.
No, it's not. It's not. He's supposed to be protecting the citizens of Tipton and Tipton County by getting these murderers and pedophiles and awful people off the streets. And instead, he's allowing them to stay on the streets.
Right.
It's almost like he's only prosecuting the things that'll make the county money. The drugs and the traffic citations and things like that.
Throughout my 20 years of dealing with this, I've looked at multiple cases all over the country. It's not an isolated incident here in Tipton County.
No, it's
over
not.
there in Tipton County. I don't live there anymore. But anyway, there's a family down in southern Indiana that I met back in 2005. A boy by the name of Jason Del Bolton was murdered in August of 1991. He was at a party, and his uncle was at this party. And his uncle moved when he was pretty much, police were done interviewing this and that and the other. He packed his family up and moved them to Virginia. Recently, one of the guys that was at this party passed away, one of the co-conspirators to Jason's death. They tried to make people believe that him and another boy, one of the boys at the party, who just so happened to be with him walking down the street, staggering drunk, laid down on the street and fell asleep. Yeah, right. So this car comes along and runs over Jason, causing with him, in his blue jeans, causes him to lose his testicles, and his testicles are in the autopsy pictures laying in the ditch across the road. Now, how in the world does that happen? This is still an open case of Jason's. Well, no, it's a closed case, I believe, but the police didn't thoroughly go through the case, or what are they hiding?
Yep, and that's another case that I want to highlight on this channel. Because there's lot
one
wrong
more
with that
person.
one.
There's one more person alive that is highly suspicious of being involved in Jason's murder.
Yeah.
And that's his uncle out in Virginia.
Wow.
All the rest of them, there's 2 or 3 others. They're already dead and gone.
And how long ago was this one?
1991.
Oh, wow.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think highly of Tommy and Mike, Tommy Joe, Tommy Joe Schmid, Mike Schmid.
Mhm.
I think highly of him. You know, it's part of what has kept me going. And I had invited them to come up on July 2nd at the Tipton City Park, and I still hope they can make it
That would be great.
because I want them to be there, and I want to introduce them to Tipton County. I
Yeah.
want this is one of the major factors of what I've witnessed through them that has kept me going, let alone I've made my promise to Tabitha's family that I'll
Right.
seek justice if I have to until my dying breath. But
Yeah.
one of the major motivations that I have for Tabitha's case is what they have been dealt with the judicial system of Connorsville and Fayette County.
And you're absolutely right. It's not just Tipton. It's all over.
It's sad.
It is.
You got the federal government so busy bickering amongst themselves and spending the taxpayers' money like it's going out of style, like it's a never-ending flow of money, and ignoring people like us when we write letters to them, say, hey, you know, we need help here. Come on, really? We sent multiple letters to the lawyer, to the attorney general, to the governor, lieutenant governor. We've confronted them all over the years. I even sent a letter to the president. Who was president back then? George Bush. Yeah, Bush was president then. Nothing. Sat down and talked with two FBI agents, and nothing got done. Buffy and her sister sat down and talked with U.S. Marshals at the Parents of Murdered Children conference back in 2005 in Kansas City. Nothing.
And that's the thing is you reach out for help, you ask for help, and absolutely nothing happens. Andrew says, is the Attorney General a different one now than back then?
I believe so. I haven't been on that website to find out. I'm not sure.
We'll have to look, and if it's a different one, maybe contact this one. But it's in their mission statement to help. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
But they're not doing it. They are not doing it.
No.
And that's the sad part. They're not doing anything to help. They're feeding their own agenda.
Right.
They're treating families like crap. Not giving them information, pushing them out. I mean, I understand that when an investigation is going on, they can't tell the family everything for fear of leaks and everything.
Right.
But you should have known how Tabby died and all of the injuries right afterwards.
Exactly.
Especially since it was so open in the public anyway, the fact that she died primarily of the gunshot. They told everyone that. It was in the newspaper and everything. So why hide the fact that she had the black eye, the busted lip, the bruises on her face, the bruises, the being like pistol whipped or whatever, being hit in the back of her head? Why didn't they tell you that on the back, across her back, there was bruising as if somebody had her in a hold or a chokehold or anything? Why didn't they explain what was on her neck and on her shoulder? that all plays a big part of it. You can't just say that she was shot and give this story of what happened and then not have it match up with the things that were actually wrong with her body.
Right.
So Charles says they send billions to Ukraine to secure their borders while they leave us wide open.
Right. It's awful nice of them to use our taxpayer dollars like that, huh?
Right. And because of corrupt people like the ones who's left this case to go cold without prosecuting anyone for her horrific death. Well, he tried to prosecute Elizabeth Balser, but the jury didn't believe his story and they acquitted her. You know, they didn't believe the story that he was telling. There was too much reasonable doubt in that story, and that is why she was acquitted. And Andrew says, and how dumb do they think people are when they say it happened in the park, but there was no blood? And with her injuries, there would have been some. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, when you're shot in the head, you bleed out immediately. Your blood pumps to your head. Where's that blood going to go if you got a hole in your head?
Right.
It's going to go right on the ground, right where you're at.
Well, and we know there was blood. We have pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
We absolutely know there was blood. So why didn't they find any blood in that park?
She wasn't killed there.
No, she wasn't.
There's more proof of her being dumped there than the theory of how she supposedly was killed in the park.
Right. Right.
But
Because
that didn't matter to the prosecution. It
No,
didn't match their theory.
Right. And the official theory is that Andrew Bush and Tabitha were at the pavilion. Okay. Then all of a sudden, Elizabeth Balser and Kyle Neff drive up. They go walk over by the creek, smoke whatever, meet up with Jonathan Yates. They come back around, call over Tabitha, and supposedly is Elizabeth Balser pistol whips her and shoots her. And there's no blood anywhere.
No.
And then after that, they supposedly walk around the park, taking a couple breaks, having a cigarette, laying her body on the ground, trying to get her over to where they dumped her in the creek. And what I'm going to show you all through video is that this is not a short distance. This is a very long distance. And if they were carrying a body that was bleeding and sat it down twice, 4 breaks, there would have been blood. Where they
I never measured it out, but it's got to be around a quarter of a mile.
Exactly.
From where it supposedly happened at to where she was supposedly taken down into the creek.
Right. Yeah, you're right. They didn't want to do their job. And believe me, they had people telling them that's not how it happened. They have depositions telling them that she wasn't killed there.
Yeah.
But they dismissed all of that. They did. They did. And none of the DNA matched to Elizabeth Balser, Kyle Neff, or Jonathan Yates.
Right.
But have they put it in the system to see who it matched to? Probably not, because it didn't
Nope.
go with their theory.
Reports of gunshots in the park doesn't match the time frame when she was supposedly killed.
No.
Gunshots were reported in the park around 8:45 p.m. She was to have supposedly been killed between 10 and 10:20 p.m. that night.
Right. We've got statements saying she was at a party during that time.
Yep.
That she left with some individuals. When those individuals came back, they said, "Where's Tabby?" And they said, "In the trunk."
Yeah, we didn't have room for her in the car, so we had to put her in the trunk. They just kind of laughed it off and went about their business at the party.
Right. We also have witnesses that say that Michael was in town that night, that he was not at school, like he said. We have some ideas of where we think she may have been killed. Can't prove anything because nobody truly looked at these areas, because everything was focused on the park.
Right. Correct, Andrea.
Yep. And school records show he wasn't at school.
Oh, he was also breakdancing on the courthouse square. I can't remember if it was after the funeral or before the funeral. Yeah. True story. It's in Buffy's journal notes.
Yeah. So, like I said, Friday's event is going to kick this off. Josh's book, I encourage you to read it. I have not personally read it, but I've heard what's in it, and I will definitely be getting a copy to see for myself and read for myself what's in there to compare to what I have.
Most certainly.
Yeah, and we did talk to a witness that said she saw Michael in the park with a bunch of people around 8:30.
Yep. And that's the time frame of the gunshots being shot in the park.
Right.
We have witness depositions on that.
Yep. So we're gonna do this event. That's gonna be our starting point. Talking to people. I can't stress enough. If you want me to keep your identity secret, I will. I absolutely will.
Absolutely.
But don't be afraid to come and talk to me and tell me what you know. And if you're afraid to do it in person at the park, then email me.
Soon and very soon, it's not just going to be us. A lawyer is coming on board.
Correct.
That information but will be released at a later date. We're still working on that. Lolly Michael is Tabitha's husband, Michael Raines. You still there, Marv?
Yep. So
I
here you
thought you
go.
froze up on me.
Nope, I was fixing something here. This is my email address. Going across the screen. Real easy. truecrimewithmarv@gmail.com. If you do not want to speak publicly, email me. I am there from, I'm driving up on Thursday. I'm there from Thursday, and I'm leaving on Tuesday. I will meet you somewhere in private and speak to you in private. Let's see here. So, all right. That is our conversation for tonight, Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that I want to do is I want to go over the reports in my binder of the official story. So, if you want to join me tomorrow night to do that, we can read them together. Otherwise, I can read them by myself. It doesn't matter. Because I want everybody to know what the official story is before the events on Friday. Because
Sure.
we're going to be talking about a lot of, contradicting information. So I want our audience and I want the public to know what the official story is from the police reports.
Right.
So I want to do that tomorrow. Sunday I'm gonna do a live on another story here that is getting out of hand again. Monday I'm gonna start doing some shorts and some TikToks, and I'm creating a poster page for this event that we can just send everywhere.
Certainly.
All here online. And then yeah, and I'll add the link to the first 2 episodes that we already did. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, if I can't get through all of those reports tomorrow night, I'll finish that so that everybody's got that official story. And then Thursday, I plan on leaving at 6 a.m. because by the time we stop a few times and get food and whatever, it's like a 7-8 hour drive. So I would like to be there before dark.
Yeah.
But yeah. And like I said, share everything that you get from us about this weekend. Get as many people's attention as you can. If you knew Tabby and you don't live in Tipton area anymore,
Something just died again.
No, you're good. I still see and hear you. Well, maybe not now, but like I said, if you don't live in Tipton and you're willing to talk to me through the computer or over the phone, I can set something up. So just let me know. Email me. That's the easiest way. And we look forward to seeing all of you next Friday at 6 p.m. at Tipton Park, or on Sunday at 2 p.m. But from today until the day I leave, you will be getting a lot of information on the official story of what Jay Rich thought happened to Tabitha. So, I am excited to see everybody and all of my Indiana friends. Can't wait. I'm going to meet a couple of the families of people that I know, and I can't wait to see everybody at the Walk for Delphi, and I absolutely can't wait to see anybody who may be coming to Tipton for Tabitha's case. So, spread it around. It's time to talk. That is our slogan for next weekend. All right, everybody. I am going to leave you for tonight. Thank you to Mark, who came on tonight. He'll be on more with me during these segments with Tabitha's case. So we're going to work them together and bring her story together. I think it's only appropriate that is how it is, since he is the voice for Tabitha. Thank you all. Much love I'm sending to you. Thank you for your support. If you can, please click that like button and leave me a comment below. That helps the stream out. And I'm trying to get this stream out to as many people as we can. So thank you again. Have a great night. Good night.